Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. By using our link, you can get 10% off your first month of therapy. So, Naz, as a therapist on BetterHelp, what has your experience been like?
I've been doing it since January 2021, and it's been really fun and exciting. I've been able to reach clients all over the United States and the world. I've had good relationships. I've had folks that I've had for a couple months and a good handful where I've had for almost 2 years now. So it's magnificent. I've enjoyed my time and my clients. I love them.
Awesome. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel the most comfortable. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/DSP or choose Different Spectrums podcast during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Hey everybody, we back again.
Hey, we're back. We're live.
I'm Spencer, your co-host, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Naz.
Dr. Nas. Dr. Smart, intelligent, handsome, good looking, full haired Nas.
All right, well, we're definitely
My hair's
losing it over here.
It's getting
All
so
right.
tall now, I can feel it blowing in the wind. I'm getting some thick ones up there.
Imagination. Anyways, remember, don't take us too seriously.
Or do. It's completely up to you.
There you go. Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So, as you can see today, we have a very special guest for today. She is a former professional rugby player and advocate for mental health and wellness. She has not only excelled on the field, but has also dedicated herself to supporting others in their mental health journeys. With her passion for personal growth and community, she's an aspiring voice in the conversation around sports and mental health. Please welcome Stephanie Rovetti to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yay! It's good to have you. Good to have you, and can't wait to get into the conversations. Today, we are doing the movie The Peanut Butter Falcon, which stars a few great actors, including Zack Gottsagen, that's his name, Shia LaBeouf, and then also Dakota Johnson, as well as plenty of other castmates in there. It's a smaller film, which talks about this young man who was in a retirement home, and because his family left him there, and that's the only place he could stay, and so now he's trying to escape that place, and then along the way he's found this kind of like mentor, older brother kind of feel in Shia LaBeouf, and now they're going on this adventure to go to this wrestling camp where he can meet his favorite wrestler, Saltwater Redneck. Yes.
As a person of color, that shit was terrifying, but continue.
Yeah. You're like, I wouldn't have made it.
I'm a pass. I'm
gonna stay here.
Yep.
I'll stay here.
Yep.
And it's just a really heartfelt and amazing film that definitely should get some recognition for all of it it talks about. So can't wait to get into it. We're going to be talking about a few different topics for today. We're going to be talking about self-doubt. We're going to be talking about healing. We're going to be talking about what makes a good coach. We're also going to be talking about having independence, as well as the difference or how an occupational therapist with Steph is and how they can really help communicate with a physical therapist and what they need for their clients on a day-to-day basis. So a lot of great things to talk about. Naz, anything before we get into the show?
Magnificent movie. Watched it, laughed, literally blurted out loud and laughed, and then cried a few good times too. So the reason why I mentioned that is because I feel like anyone that is going to watch this movie and go on this journey with us for the podcast, all of you that listen, and there's a ton of you now, it's magnificent. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I suggest that you actually go back and you don't just listen to us, you go back and watch the movie.
Yes.
For any of you that deal with any type of ability or disability, right? A Down syndrome specifically, autism is affected in a certain way. If you're going to watch this, you're going to relate a lot of things. You're going to be in some emotions. And it's fantastic. And I hope that many of you that experience this, because as many of you know, right, you're either neurodivergent, autistic, many women that listen to us, many folks of color, you're going to love it. You're going to eat it up. But be in a good mind state, but it is fantastic. It is fantastic. So I highly recommend people actually do watch this instead of just having some fun with us. A lot of stuff we're going to get into today, Spence. Let's kind of see how it goes, right? I mean, I feel like Steph's ready for the trip. I just feel like she might be a little anxious. I'm gonna ask some questions and do my best to get her to cry. I don't know.
We're going to get tears today.
We got Sammy like right to the cuffs, and then she backed it off. I threw a Lego at her, and she was good.
Like, oh, put those again.
Turtle. So I'm really excited to get into this. Very important topics about affirming care. Let's just be real. Just about affirming and loving people for who they are, not what you want them to be. That goes for parents, coaches, and all these things. And also be careful on what you tell people they can do or can't do. If they're normal or if there are other things, right? Be careful on those things because that can influence people, especially young adults, into their lives. It doesn't matter if they're neurodivergent, different disabilities. It can fuck up neurotypical kids too. So pay attention to those of you who are parents, but also just talking to your younger friends, kiddos, colleagues, maybe it's your vocation or work. So a lot of stuff. It's going to be a good pod. I'm going to do my best to reel in the crazy. All right. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop.
Hey, look at you.
Hey, there you go.
Team
You
player. Yeah. Hands in. That's a good one. Do I have a hand fetish now?
No.
I'm done.
Have you ever not?
Oh my God. What's feet?
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Right, let's get into the show.
Other end.
I ain't even the slightest bit scared of you.
I want to be professional wrestler, and I am a bad guy
Why do you want to be the bad guy?
because my family left me.
That don't make you the bad guy. Good guys get left too, Zack. Ain't about no silly laugh or wearing black and eyeshadow and shit. It had nothing to do with that. It has to do with what's in here, in your heart. You got a good guy heart. You can't do shit about it. That's just who you are. You're a hero.
I can't be a hero because I am a Down syndrome.
What's that got to do with your heart? Who told you that?
Coach, teachers,
Your coach? What'd your coach say?
I am retarded.
Your coach said that? Probably a shitty coach. Your team ever win anything? No? Some shit you ain't never gonna do. That's all right. You can't be everything. You ain't gonna be no professional basketball player. You ain't gonna dunk no basketball or be an Olympic swimmer. sink like a stone. Because you're all muscle. Muscle sinks. Today, when you pulled me up out the water, you almost pulled my whole arm out the socket. Most grown folk I know ain't got that kind of strength. You're strong, Zach. Fuck your coach.
Tyler,
Yeah.
who those people on the boat?
On the boat? That's Duncan and Rat Boy.
They are a good guy or a bad guy?
Bad guy.
Tyler,
Hmm.
are you the good guy or a bad guy?
I don't know. What you think?
You are a good guy.
So how far is it on the raft?
About that far on the map?
Are your fingers to scale?
Yep.
So how much time is that much?
That's different than what I put up.
All right.
What I did is about a day. Maybe 2 days.
Days? Like,
Yeah.
okay. Are you kidding? What in the Christ? Hey, Zach, why don't you sit down, bud? You're kind of close to the edge. I don't want you to fall in. Hey, are you hungry? Have you eaten anything?
I am not really hungry.
Well, maybe you should just have a bite of something for your blood sugar.
You don't want nothing, do you?
You know how you get, buddy. I have an apple.
Hey,
I have some M&Ms. What?
don't do that.
Don't do what?
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we keep our training going? Just because we're on the raft don't mean we're going to stop training, does it? All right, so we're going to do some breathing control exercises. She's worried about your blood sugar. We're going to breathe. Take a deep breath in. Out. All right, cool. Now come over here. Put your head underwater. I'm going to time you.
What? No, no, no. He can't do that. Zach,
No,
don't.
he can do that. He can do that. He can stand up on the raft. He can hold his breath while he's trying to do the rest. There you go. You better stop calling him a retard.
I have never called anyone that word.
Okay, hold on. Listen, when people are saying he's a retard, really what they're saying is he can't do some shit they can do. So you might not be saying the word retard, all right, I'll give you that, but you damn sure is making him feel retarded. That ain't gonna help his life. Hey, there we go.
Time. How long is that?
Long.
Not long enough, Zach. Do it again.
Okay.
You have got some real nerve talking to me like that. Do you even know what I do? I've spent the last 2 years of my life volunteering to hold people's hands as they pass away. I talk to them, I feed them, I wipe their asses, I change their clothes, I put them to bed. And I'm the last person they see. Don't act like you know jack shit about me.
All right.
Yeah, maybe he should not be in a retirement home, but I didn't choose that for him. But that's what happened, and now I am doing the best I can. Oh!
Hey!
Oh!
Shit!
God! Zach!
Okay,
Lunch!
Zach, did you just catch that with your hands? How'd you do that? You're a wild man.
Oh my God.
Let all the wolves of your past be laid to rest.
Tell her I'm gonna give you all of my wishes for my birthday. Welcome.
Oh, yeah.
It is too far from the other side.
Yeah, well, we ain't got many options. I walked through 2 days of bride bases, and you can't go back the way you came. So we're going swimming. You got a better idea?
We could get a plane.
Take your pants off.
I can't swim.
Yeah, I know you can't swim, but you can float. Zach, I need you to listen to me. That bag and them pants are gonna hold air. They're gonna float you. Do not let go. You hold on with everything you got. 'Cause I sure as shit don't want to have to go swimming over there and think about you sinking us. And I don't want to dredge the bottom for your body. You understand?
Tyler, am I gonna die?
Yeah, you're gonna die. It's a matter of time. That ain't the question. Question is whether they're gonna have good stories to tell about you when you're gone. And don't be a bitch. Let's go. Hold tight, Zach. Hold on, Zach. Kick, Zach! Kick, Zach! Kick, Zach! Please get me out of here!
That is the biggest story to tell. Oh, come on.
Hey everyone, I wanted to give a special shout out to our collaborator, Two Nerds Candle Company. Not only do they have great products, but they are also giving back to a great cause. You can tell that they take a lot of pride in making their candles. My favorite is Spock's Monday Coffee. They are also donating 10% annually to support Women in STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. You can use our code DSP or go to our link tree to get 20% off your entire order. We think that this company is great, and we think you will too. So go check them out.
You think I can't go to the NBA? Fuck you, man. I got a shot. I've been the first.
No, you don't.
There's been so many Mexicans in the NBA.
You'd be good at setting screens. You're good. You're good at setting screens.
Great at
all
setting
right?
screens. But like I run down the court once or twice, I'm done.
Yeah. Just set those screens. You're good. Even at half court, you're just like,
I'm
come
what
on,
you would
man.
call a wide person.
Hey, he knocked a dude down, and I switched the shot. That's all. That's our dynamic. You know, he sets the screens, I shoot the shot.
Screens are good. Screens are good. Why are we hyping up my screen setting? He's an athlete too. He can be in the Olympics for screen setting.
He can do it.
You ever seen a fat guy get in the way? That's it.
Bring him in.
Jesus Christ. Let's reel this back here. Let me do this again so I know to cut that.
Anyways, Stephanie, thank you for coming on. We can't wait to talk to you about this movie, but we want to dive into a little bit about you. No pressure at all. I would love to know, just so you are an Olympic bronze medalist when it comes to rugby. I know that you played basketball at BYU.
What?
And yeah.
Can you set a screen?
I'm a professional screen setter as well.
Oh,
Hey,
are you also?
see?
really important. Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go. All
yeah,
right. So she got
yeah.
respect for me now. She knows the
Yeah.
skills.
It wasn't even a joke. It was just like, yeah, we need those.
She's like, okay, I got it. I thought she was making fun of
Yeah.
me. She's like, you big people. I'm joking. She didn't
Anyways,
laugh. She stopped
yes.
laughing.
Anyways, you were at BYU, played basketball. How did you get into rugby? What was that transition like for you?
Weird transition because I was
Yeah.
I had played basketball. I had, I played at BYU, played at Fresno State. I was coaching basketball actually at the time in San Diego, and my sister found rugby in college. I think her freshman dorm mate was like, "Hey, come on this team and play rugby." And so I give the credit to my sister because she found it and was around it. And then, I was more like looking for a community. I just moved to San Diego, and there's a really good club in San Diego, rugby club of like that women that were my age. And she's like, yeah, I really think you'd enjoy rugby. And we really wanted to play together. Weirdly, we never did, but
Oh,
yeah. So so I went and found that club, and then got introduced at like age 26 into the rugby community, and eventually, long story short, but I went. The national team is trains there, and so got to go train with the national team, and the rest is history. It's kind of the trajectory.
Wild. It's just random as hell.
I'll be
Random.
honest with you. From all the stories that I've seen, like it's always some other sport. Like, cause Sammy was soccer. She played
Mhm.
soccer, and then she went to rugby. And like it's nobody like goes from like, oh yeah, I was at rugby, and then I kept on playing rugby. Like it's usually a different sport, and then they transition to rugby somehow. And it's
Our
just
our like team, I think we have like, gosh, college. We have hockey, soccer, basketball. We have
yeah.
cheerleading. Two of
Oh,
our girls.
there you go. Hey, toughness is
And
toughness.
but like just because rugby is not, you don't get that sport when you're little. There's no like very clear pathway, and so like I think our group is like the last generation of like a modge podge of different athletes, which is
Okay.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
But now like rugby's grown, and there's a better pathways into when you're younger, and so I think we're starting to get that. Oh, I played rugby, and now I'm play more rugby.
yeah,
But
Starting to get more of the purists, the pedigree,
yeah. That's right. I've
Instead,
been playing since I was a baby. Son.
yeah, I know. So, this is an afterthought. I guess I'll do rugby if you need me.
I guess I'll just win some bronze
I get,
medal.
I don't know what y'all do, but I'll set a screen. I get it, Steph. You didn't want to do it. You were forced to do it. I get it.
yeah,
Those are all my
but
words.
rugby might be your sport, not setting screens. Because if you're good at setting screens, you'll probably be good at rugby. That's what happened to me. So.
He would be really good at rugby.
No, real
Bet
talk.
money.
Homeboy, Coach Sager, he does rugby, and if they're all muscular like him, I'm good, homie. I'm done hitting people.
That's fair.
I'm getting paid too much as a therapist to just shit and talk about shit and talk. Damn,
Shit and talk.
that's a
Yep.
good. We sit and talk
Shit
about
and talk.
therapy. I'm getting paid. No, I can't put my brain in front. I'm so scared to like twist my ankle. I'm like, damn, how am I gonna get into work?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
Valid.
I just roll in, then you gotta go to the doctor and all that shit. No, I'm just gonna sit here, talk to people. Fucking Americans, all lazy. Continue though. So this rugby thing, is it a growing sport then? It's gotta be growing.
It's like the biggest growing team sport in the US right now, or it's got to be up there.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it's cool. It's a cool sport. You have to have all types of different athletes, like different skills. Like soccer, they're all little and running around. You have different body types and stuff, but rugby, like you do really need a variety of skills, which is so good for humanity.
Right?
Diverse, and it's so like it's really, really cool. It's pretty unique for a sport, and like the respect around it's like a very physical sport, but like the respect and culture around just rugby in general is like it's cool. You go, you play a game and you go have beers after. Who wouldn't want that?
Yeah. I mean, hey,
Hey,
sounds
you
like
know,
a time.
I mean,
Give me a Shirley Temple.
is there food after too? There's not
I
just
drink
beer,
those.
right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
I'm just making
Yeah.
sure. Well, because
Yeah, got bulk up.
I gotta set that screen. That's awesome, man. I didn't know that. Fast growing. I mean, when was it? Do you know this? When did it start become an Olympic sport? Was that recent, or has it been a while? It's been a while.
2016.
Okay.
So this is the only third Olympics that it's been in. It's rugby sevens. So There's rugby 15s, which is the longer 80-minute games, and then there's rugby 7s, which is the Olympic version, and
Okay.
it's you play 14-minute games, and then you play 6 in a weekend. So,
Okay.
Wow.
also very fast, very exciting, but very
Intense.
exhausting.
Okay. There you go.
Oh, all right. Could you? So we asked this with Sammy too. Are there any like wild stories that you could tell us about? Being at the Paris Olympics. Like did you like? Because she told us how she got like she had to get tested for. She had to get tested for whatever enhancements.
PEDs. Yeah. Right afterwards.
because they're like, oh, you did too well. You
Good.
did too well. Yeah, yeah. But are there any stories that kind of really jump out at you while you were at the Paris Olympics?
Oh my gosh. I mean, like it's just so much craziness there,
Yeah.
right? Like you have like the Olympic Village, and then you have like there's celebrities everywhere. Then you meet Flav and Snoop Dogg, and then you go play. It's like it's a very weird reality. You're living 2 weeks. But no, like well, I broke my finger the first minute of the first game. So that I think that was like that sucked. But yeah, you just wrap that baby up and you keep playing. But I was like, come on.
Damn.
Like, come on. Please.
Is it good now? Is it like mine where it's crooked? I broke my finger.
I don't even want to show you. It's
please. Come on. Oh yeah, that's still yep.
No, it's got a couple of plates in it, a couple of screws in it.
Dude, that looks like my dad's hand, and that is not a compliment. Shout out to Dad who got his hand stuck in a meat sauce. Shout out to Dad. And all people with like this. You got a disability now, girl. Welcome to our people. Welcome to our people.
Hey, one of us.
Wow, that's great. First minute, first game.
Damn.
Wow.
But it's it's a puny injury, right? You can play with a finger. It's like, but it hurts really bad,
Oh, hey, we're all human.
Oh, my finger hurts, but it's.
Did you set it yourself or did somebody else set it?
Someone else said it.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Hey,
she would have been G if she did it herself. Like, I got this.
No, that would have been a bad idea. I set mine myself and it was really dumb because it's still crooked to this day, and I probably should have had somebody else do it. So she's smart for actually doing that. Yeah. Okay. Were there any like celebrities that you were just like, oh my god, like that's Tom Cruise? I don't know.
That's
like every one of them, yeah.
Oh yeah. LeBron James.
LeBron James was cool.
Okay.
Well, for the like opening ceremonies, our team didn't end up going because we played right after, but we got dressed up. We went down with all the athletes before they left for the boat for the opening ceremonies, and it the basketball teams doesn't stay there. And I obviously love basketball. Like I was like so excited for both the girls and boys team to come, but so they came and met us like at the art building at the Olympic Village, and so they're all like coming in. All the athletes from like all the different countries are like trying to swarm them like. But I'm like, you guys are also like Olympic athletes. It's weird to see other athletes then like idolizing these basketball players, but they're popular.
Yeah.
Started to rain, so they like shoved all of us in the building like together, and I like don't know how this happened, but I like got in right around the basketball team. So like LeBron James is like this close to me, and like all these like 6'9" guys were like, I'm like, this is my dream.
You're finally
I think
sign please.
But you know what, in reality it was like it's not as they're just people, but
yeah.
True.
That was like exciting, at least. I was like,
yeah.
Wow.
And Brittany Griner was also right here too, and so
there you go.
So that was cool.
Around royalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, tall royalty.
Yeah.
I would ask so many weird questions. I'd be like, how does your blood get to your brain? Do your toes get cold? Oh my God, why'd I go back to feet? Fuck.
Every time. God damn.
How's your
There's
circulation?
a thing happening here that's not every guest. Jeez.
Is there hair throughout the entire tall length of the body? They'd be like, security? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is it because I'm brown? No, it's because you're weird. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though you're talking to brown people.
It checks out. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not the right type of brown.
Who are you talking? Gordon Hayward? Like, wait, who are you talking to?
There's a couple white guys in the basketball
Kevin
team this
Love?
year.
Who are you talking to?
Were there any white guys in the basketball team this year? I don't know. There's always the one, the DEI
I'm trying to think of
hire.
one.
There's always one DEI guy.
There's one. I'm trying to think who it was. I actually don't know. I can't think of any.
Actually, I'm not sure either, too.
I don't think there was.
No.
No.
I mean, Derek White, I mean, is half.
His name.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, yeah, fantastic.
But yeah, great. So I also want to talk to you about how, so you retired after the Olympics. Would love to kind of deep dive into how did you know that you were ready to be done after this Olympics, and what was that process like for you? Because sometimes for some athletes it's harder than others, obviously, because you get a routine, you get into just seeing the same people over and over again, stuff like that. So was it difficult for you when you announced it and when you actually retired afterwards, or was it kind of pretty easy?
That's a good question. If I could do this for the rest of my life, I would, which is a hard thing of like, you don't feel like, oh, like I'm ready to retire. I think you come to peace with it, but I don't think it's ever like, I don't know anyone that's like, yeah, I want to retire. I want to retire. I think, for me, just how like the shape of my body was, how I felt. I turned 33, and so like I was, for an athlete, a little bit on the higher end, and I'd gone through a lot of injuries and things, and so my body was kind of more so telling me than I think my mind was. But
Yeah.
I knew after the Olympics, there's also things that as an athlete, it's hard to start a family. It's hard to, I didn't want to prolong my other next career that I have to find and do. And
Yeah.
so I think it just made sense with all the different areas of my life that Olympics was my goal as an athlete, a goal like that I wanted to achieve, and would make me feel fulfilled enough to be able to move on to the next chapter in life. That being said, it kind of sucks. It's hard, and I would love to play it for the rest of my life if I could.
Yeah.
And so I think, I don't know. I think I want to play a little bit more, but I don't think that would be the right decision for me.
You heard it here, folks. She's back on the
She's
team.
out of retirement,
Yeah,
folks. She's back.
We're back.
She's back.
It's like that wolf we're all
do
I'm
this
not going
tonight.
anywhere. I'm here.
Send the facts. Send the
Yeah.
facts out.
We're
She's
back.
back.
Get Pat McAfee on the alert. We're back.
I had to like go. I had class, and so I had to go back in like after the Olympics, and I had to be there all day, and I'm like, is this life?
Yes. It's not fun. It
I
is
can't
not
do
fun.
it.
Yeah, it
No.
sucks.
It's not fun.
Go back. Go
Yeah.
back.
I'll play tag with my friends,
Yeah. Oh my God. It is tag, isn't it?
We do play tag sometimes for warm up.
Hey, yeah, gotta loosen up.
It's nothing funner than tag. I ain't gonna lie. It's just fun as hell. Yeah. You start chasing each other randomly at a wedding because you're all drunk, and then people
What?
falling down. It's been some fun weddings, man. They're like,
It's fun.
yeah, you push your boy, and then he chases you. You push another guy. Yeah.
Sounds like assault.
It might have just been me.
To be honest.
Real
I
talk.
mean,
It might have just been me pushing people.
yeah, I think maybe you have a hazy memory of that. Like,
The only one playing. Yeah.
yeah, he's the only one running around like like they're like, dude, I'm 56. I can't run anymore.
Stop setting screens on me. Oh, fuck. Okay. So question about the body parts. You said the injuries. Since there's injuries, a lot of my athletes that have injuries cause a lot of mental health issues for many different reasons. Has there been a lot in the last few years? Or no?
Yeah. So I could talk for all day about this, but I had a really very significant leg injury. I broke my leg in a couple places, and that took me about 2 years. I had to have 2 surgeries on my leg, and that was the main one. And then it was right before the World Cup, and I there's a selection process, so it's kind of like tryouts. And so, I got back and I made the selection for the World Cup team. We're going to South Africa, and I broke my finger weirdly again. But I broke my finger, and then you wrap it up, and I'm playing, and then gosh, like a couple of days before we left, I was like tackling somebody, and I broke my other hand. So I was like walking around like claw hands, you know. I was like, this is terrible. Yeah. Yeah. I think my coach kind of called me claw hands for a while. I was like,
I
I
would
don't
just
like
put some mittens on you. I would love to see you in like this, like the winter mittens that are leather with the little parka thing on it.
basically no, it was, yeah. Anyways, and so there's kind of like a string of injuries and things and littler ones, but uh yeah, I mean it's a mental journey more than anything. And it takes a village as well. And you know, you get really deep into like how your identity is tied to how your body performs and how like your whole life is around that, especially I think as a professional athlete, or if you know, like not being able to do something you used to be able to do is just very hard mentally. Your roles change, your, you know, your social interactions change, your a lot of things change. It's a massive transition. So I think the physical part we've focused a lot on. The mental part is uh it's tough. I mean, there's so many things I could talk about with that, but it makes, I mean, I learned so much from it. I've learned more than from my injuries, I think, than the rugby itself.
Mm.
So, is it fair to say that to help other people with some of these things, is it fair to say that you had depression or anxiety or things like that in the past because of these things or other things?
Oh, yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, you know, the depression is, you know, when you lose something, and the self-worth, all those
Identity.
things when you're through it. And then, you know, you come back and then there's this crippling anxiety it's traumatic. So like that's going to happen again, or like I don't want to lose that again, and I don't want to get hurt, and that, I mean, affects performance. It affects how you interact with people. Uh, it's something that like is, you think you've beat it and you're on the field, and that anxiety is really a beast to wrestle with. And you know, I think I wrestled with it for my whole entire career. You know, at times and different times it doesn't really go away completely, but yeah, it's really hard.
Okay. Yeah.
And, you know, I know you're doing occupational therapy, and we can talk about that in a second, but would you ever want to like maybe coach rugby or anything like that just to stay in the game? Or do you think like I'm just like I'm a player and that's what I want to do with this. It's time for me to move on from this.
Yeah, good question. I I coached basketball after I played, and it is
Right.
just too close to playing, I think, for me
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
I think I've had a lot of coaches that have really made a big impact in my life, and I think that's a really cool role, and really, but for me, I think it I would just rather play or not play. And
Yeah.
I do like so I'm actually a student in occupational therapy. I've been done in a couple months, but
Almost.
Like,
Almost.
don't have
almost.
I think I have to say I'm not a occupational therapist yet,
You'll
but
get there.
you know, there's this side of there's sports, and then there's other parts of me that are my passions, or that I think that would fulfill me as a human being. And my little brother Jack, he has Down syndrome, and so that's a big part of what's made me the athlete that I am and the person that I am. And um, I've grown up in different disability communities, communities that have people with disabilities. I think I've that's something that I think makes me whole. So no, I won't be coaching.
Did you put yourself in those communities just because you're part of those communities, or because of your little brother or other family members? How did that come about?
So it's kind of, when my brother was born, I'm 7 years older than him. So I remember we went, when my mom had my brother Jack, we were at the hospital, and my mom and my parents were so upset, and we didn't get a diagnosis until he was born. And so you know, that doctor had come in, and it was very somber. It was very like, I'm so sorry, and uh which is terrible. I mean, so my parents experienced this, and then you know, I remember as a 7-year-old, my parents sat me down, and I got to hold this cute little baby boy with Down syndrome, like so adorable. And she said, you know, like, he has Down syndrome. And I didn't know what that was when I was 7 years old, but it was like I couldn't understand why it was such a sad thing, because I didn't know. And my mom, I think the only time she had interacted with anybody with a disability was like one time in elementary school. And so this was, and like there was no resources given. There was not, it was a very negative outlook from those communicated. So I think as we lived our life and things like, and as we experienced our life, it was completely different than what that like experience was for us. And my mom got my mom got really active in the disability community and the advocacy community, and is a mid advocate for inclusion. And so I mean, she's incredible and incredible for the community. And she now goes to when kids with Down syndrome or with moms have babies with Down syndrome, she comes and gives them good resources and shares her experiences and what my brother's doing. And so and just as a sibling, there's something called Sib Shop. So there's just different, you'd go with everyone who has a sibling with a disability, they have their group. And so we've been in a lot of nonprofits, a lot of different things. So through that, I had just kind of lived through that progression of here's was our view when he was born, and then now he's an incredible human, and he has a job and friends, and he goes out to karaoke at the bar on Wednesdays, and he's an incredible full human that is completely integrated into the community. And so just I think living through Jack, I think, and being an outsider viewing that is kind of give me that experience with that perspective.
I told Spence before you hopped on, I said, after I watched the movie, and then I assume you'll be talking about some stuff too, and say, hey man, you think it'd be cool if I had me and my brother and his best friend come on? My brother's been on multiple times, right? More higher needs, autistic. His best friend has Down syndrome, and like he calls and talks to my pop and my family all the time. Like sometimes it's like daily. And so I was like, oh, we're going to have them on the pod. We're going to have some fun. We're going to chop it up. And that episode will air as long as his mom approves it and everything, right? That'll air after yours. So the week after yours, we're going to have my brother and his best friend. We're just going to have some fun. And so I wanted to thank you for randomly joining the pod real quick. Just want to take a moment. Joining the pod and bringing this movie and Down syndrome, because we haven't touched about this topic at all. Right. I think this would just be really good for a lot of folks. I'm going to ask you later on for some resources. I mean, I'm sure I can find them too. But if your mom's got like a quick couple links, that way me and Spencer can put it, because our pod does get a decent amount of attention. So I can put it in places to help out a lot of family members and also other kids. If you want to, you can shout out Ma if you're cool with saying her name. I mean, that's up to you. I mean, shout out Ma.
Dana, great. Ma Dana, great. Yeah. She's incredible.
Shout out Ma, for doing your thing. And because a lot of people they're going to do what his parents did in the movie. So we'll get to that later. So shout out Ma. And then Rachel, good baby girl. Look at you. Just doing stuff. Just a big gushy heart, emotional, broken fingers and legs. But girl got a heart.
Hey, she's limping. She's limping around. She's going.
She's a limping Olympic. Bruh, look at Steph, actually legit person. What? I thought athletes were trash. No, she's pretty good. Yeah. She's not just a jock, man. She's like legit human. Okay, Spence know how to pick them now. I'll be honest. No one on the podcast ever comes on that's terrible, because it's all about disabilities and neurodivergence. Like everyone's fantastic.
Yeah.
But Steph,
you can always tell the good ones. Oh, tell the good one.
I know, big old softy. Look at you. There ain't no way, man. It was crushing you on the field. What is your position on the field? You're the heart. Please God, you're the heart. Aren't you?
Heart.
Is that a position?
Where you just stomping people out?
Or are you like gouging people? Like, what do you do?
Those cleats on them necks,
Yeah.
Come over here.
I'm scrum half. So I've moved around a couple. Scrum half, fly half. So scrum half's the little one that puts the ball in the scrum.
Oh, all right, fair enough. Hey, you're in the middle of it.
You're in the middle of it?
Middle of it. Yeah. I let them do the hard work, but good job, guys. You're doing great.
The heart and soul, boy. The heart and soul. Thank you for sharing the stuff about the family and all those different things. I know obviously you felt some emotions while sharing that. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So we talked about it a little bit before, but I would love to know, What is an occupational therapist?
What'd they do?
What is that? Yeah.
Is that one of the magicians?
No. Well, but people are like, do you help people get a job? No, I don't. It's like I don't know what that's
Well,
called. But,
occupation, right? You're gonna give them a
occupational
job.
therapist. It does. I mean, it's a little bit misleading with the name.
You're already
Fair.
lying to us.
But-
White people always be
Yeah.
lying to us, man. You just be
Why
lying.
did I make it so overly complicated? But no, occupational therapists help people with activities of daily living, ADLs, and so that's anything that you do in a day, grooming, feeding, leisure. Like it's so broad. So I work with the pediatric population. So kids' occupation, kids' role, kids are to develop and play. And so occupational therapists, they work on fine motor skills, gross motor skills, executive functioning, a lot of sensory needs and self-regulation. So that's where kind of occupational therapists come into play and help them. If it's in the school, it's the learning environment. How do I modify a task, modify the environment? How do I build your skills? How does that? It's a very, very holistic view, a very whole person view. Occupational therapists are typically very creative in how they approach things, and it's a very cool profession. So did that answer it
Yeah.
in a nutshell?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And was it your brother that really inspired you to do this, to be an occupational therapist?
Yeah. He had an occupational therapist when he was in early intervention. So when he was like 0 to 3. And I remember, I mean, I was young. I was like 7, 8. But I remember the room vaguely. And I remember I got to participate in the session. So I remember they like brought me over and like had me like, I don't remember what we were doing. I was too little, but it was just like a very positive, cool environment. And that had helped my brother a lot. And so that like the occupational therapist was a big role in his development. And then kind of as he progressed through life at different stages, he has an occupational therapist now who is helping him with more life skills, more his job and how to, and his diet. And he's working to become independent and live on his own. And so that's the goal. And so that's her role. So I've just seen it, and it's been so cool to like see that how it's affected my brother, and it aligns a lot with like how I view approaching these things. And so yeah.
You gonna be working? Do you want to work with the little ones, or you want to work?
I love
the little ones. You ain't trying to work with the big ones no more. No more.
I like the little ones.
The little ones. The little ones.
Sounds somebody like now. You're like, nope.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
You heard it here, folks. Size supremacists. Size supremacists. Not weight. White. Oh, I'm getting out of this. All that was bullshit. I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
It was a funny
Eject.
joke. Wait.
Eject.
Button. Push a button. Rush hour. Push a button. So with the kiddos, so a lot of people are trying to navigate school life. What are they going to do? Purpose, meaning. It's hard. It's difficult. Did you go in immediately knowing that you wanted to work with being OT when you were in college? Did you know immediately when you were in OT school, like you wanted to work with the little ones? Or right, like how does one come about that origin story? Because I didn't know I wanted to work with autistic people until I had a bunch of them on my caseload. My boss was like, I think your specialty is like autism. I'm like, what? Then like fast forward like 3 years, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm autistic too. I'm like, oh, this all makes full sense now. Okay. So for you, when did these epiphanies start happening?
Well, no, because I mean, I'm 33 and still in school. So that's probably why I didn't realize it. I wish I would have realized it a long time ago, but it's terrible. But when I was in college, I was an athlete, and that was my complete full identity. I was like,
okay,
give me the classes that work with my schedule and like are pretty chill. And so I majored in something I don't want to do.
Communications? It's probably communications.
Good guess. Public health. I guess
public health is good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good things. Not something that I didn't think about.
No.
I was anyways. And then I got my master's in public administration, some nonprofit management. And so I did go into some nonprofits just because I did know that I worked with a couple of different nonprofits that kind of similar to like what I experienced as a kid growing up. And I think they do a lot of really, really good work. And so that didn't really match like what who I was like as a person. I don't want to sit. I mean, I think the lifestyle and the hours, the like, a lot of desk work. Like, I really wanted to be more active.
You're an
I need to
athlete.
be need to be moving.
You're an athlete. You want to be moving. Yeah.
It's actually I was and I had known about OT slightly, and I was babysitting my old boss's son, and he has OT, and so he my boss was like, my old boss, she's like, you kind of act similar to like you treat, so and so. How is OT? You should take him to OT. And so I was like, okay. And so that's when it just kind of clicked of like, I would love to do that. And I think I was searching for that. And that was kind of the moment that kind of tied everything that who I was as a person with what I wanted to do and what kind of job fits that. And and then as far as like the pediatric, I always knew that. So
Just you knew
I
it was
do
kids.
working with kids and things like that. So
There you go. Kids for me is a little too difficult. It's hard for me to segregate or dissociate or discern their stuff and their struggle. It puts me in a weird place. Puts me in a very negative or angry or protective when I see certain things as a therapist that are going on. I can't handle the trauma. So you got ability to either separate that or your just hearts takes over for your mind, because I just go to a very negative place when I'm working with kids. When I do it, it's fantastic, but then my mind wanders. Does yours do that? Like, do you ever get like, oh my God, they're screwed? Don't tell them that, obviously.
yeah.
You're never going to walk again, Johnny. Jesus.
Well, I like kids are so like pure.
I know.
And I think like I don't know, you either like work with kids or you don't work with kids. I think it's so like that gives you, or it sucks your energy, or it takes like, or it like you can or you can't. And I don't know, like we have people in my class that are like, they for sure know which side they're on, So I don't know. It's just come really easy to me. I think I'm able to separate it, and I think I do like the connection with kids, and to see. I like that they do have a whole entire life ahead of them, and you're so early in their development, and so that's what I like.
Man, I love it, man. I love the kids. It's just with my own personal childhood trauma. It's when I see certain things, I'm like, a certain monster comes out of me, and I can't obviously afford to lose my job. So I have to protect myself from kids' jobs. Because they're vulnerable populations. Vulnerable populations, they can't speak or talk for themselves or do things for themselves. I'm like, oh, I'll step in, but it's not, it's going to be my foot and your ass. So, I love that you're working with the population. Have you ever thought of being a therapist? Oh, sorry, a therapist. A mental, like a cognitive therapist. Like you got some shit too, you one of them fake ones. I'm talking about the real ones.
Oh my God.
But,
That's a joke.
But I knew exactly what you're talking about, so I don't know what that says about me too. Yeah.
Oh my God. Let's unpack that trauma there.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, same thing about you working with kids. Like, that's how I would feel if I was.
It's too much.
It's too much.
Okay.
Gosh, yeah, yeah.
Bro, I'm just happy that you're around and like alive as a human, because oh my God, you're about to help so many people just by your personality.
Yeah.
Let's not even get twisted. Ain't got nothing to do with your education or you helping people. Just you as a person is fucking fantastic. Like, I am so excited for the kids you're going to work with, because you're actually going to give a shit, and you're going to love those kids.
Yeah.
And I'm scared. Obviously, I'm very protective and very angry at things. I know they're going to be in good hands with you, because I see your heart. That's magnificent. I'm excited. It's a good podcast today, Spence.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sure will.
Yep.
Sure will. Yeah. Just one more question, then we can get into the movie.
Okay.
Do you have any films or TV shows that you use to help either regulate or calm yourself when you're watching them, or if you're in like a certain mood, you're just like, I need to watch this right now? Do you have any of those?
Your coping shows or your regulars?
I don't usually watch things over and over. Like, I think I get, like, if I watch something the second time, I get too bored. And so
okay.
But, I have to, like, political dramas.
Oh, like The West Wing,
like
or
Veep?
like
What?
Veep?
Veep. Isn't that a comedy?
It is a comedy. Oh, it's not a drama. Sorry.
Yeah. Like I just watched The Diplomat. That was really good.
Okay.
But it,
Oh,
honestly,
there you
it's just like talking and but I have to listen to them. I don't even have to watch it, but it's like
Yeah.
that. Anyways, that's
You like the
but let me
drama. You're toxic. You one of them toxic
Like-
people that like the drama. I love,
love the drama.
As soon as
Yeah.
I gas you up about being a good person, you give me this shit. You know, fuck.
Give me the tea, girl.
I take it back. Gotta take it back. You ain't shit. That's awesome.
I don't do reality TV. That
Facts. You don't want to be one of those people.
no,
Yeah. One of them.
regular drama. Wait, thank you.
Bruh. I always talk shit about reality TV, but then like as soon as you watch, you're like, I'm hooked. Like that's why I can't touch it. It's a drug. It's a drug.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I love like The West Wing. That's like one of my favorite political shows ever. It's just so good.
Yep.
And then oh my God, I forgot his name. Not Charlie. Charlie Sheen's dad. He's just amazing. Amazing actor in there. And actually one of the guys from Get Out, the dad, who was the neuroscientist.
Yeah, he's good.
He was in there as well.
Yep,
So
he's good.
great show. Great show. All right.
Real quick. So are you one person that calms or uses the coping skill of like music then? What do you use to regulate your own emotions if it's not TVs and shows like a lot of us on the pod? Is it music? Is it just chilling, breathing, relaxing?
Oh, yeah. You know what I
Lifting?
really rely on is I exercise actually is very like right after the Olympics, I was like, I'm not working out for 3 months. Don't ask me to.
Yeah.
And my mental health was first as a transition, but that is something that very much regulates me. And then for me, I have a dog, and that like the animal therapy for me is like that is very regulating for me. And even like walks with my dog or going to the like it forces me to be outside, it forces me to walk, it forces me like the things that around that. And then I love my dog so much, but that is a very method for me.
Yeah.
And I said, fine, come sleep in my bed with me. Yeah.
Come here, baby.
Come here, lay on.
You're so fluffy.
Yeah.
Why? I don't deserve your love. I'm not a good person.
Yeah. And then like probably the third thing is I think I do try to do meditations, breathing, that stuff. It's hard. It's hard to do, especially if you're in a dysregulated state. I think I try to. I want to be better at that, but I think especially as I'm winding down, if I'm really stressed, if I'm like I do like to listen to like just talk, like that's why I like political shows, like just talking and or podcasts and things like that to like quiet my mind.
Quiet your mind.
Or something mentally stimulating. I think the thoughts and things like that really affect my sleep, and so that's kind of how I've coped or kind of calmed myself.
The biggest thing about you is connection. So you're one of those big old softies that loves connection with the dog, brother, the kiddos, your partner, teammates. It's all about connection. Dope. Yep. If you got a website, when you get your OT website, let me know. I'll put that Dr. Nas stamp on it and be like, yep, this the one. Yep, send them to her.
Doctor.
It's worth it then.
As soon as so you're going to have 2 masters then, right? Because that's another master's.
Yeah, which is not impressive because it just means I messed up. I'm not using my other one, so.
Girl,
I just like
how you going? I'm trying to gas you
got
up.
2 masters, and you're like, I ain't shit.
I know it's not self-deprecating, but it's the real. I mean, it's like, oh shoot.
Oh my God.
I want to do that.
You're setting a poor example for women right
I
now.
know.
Jesus Christ.
No,
Remember, underachieve, folks.
Have to go underachieve. Don't get an education because you won't use it. Jesus. Remember, kids.
Education ain't shit.
We don't want women in education. That's what I heard. Oh my God, Steph. I'm joking.
Okay, mastered. Yeah, I got 2 masters.
I know.
There you go.
Thank
See,
you.
look at that.
Was
Look at
that
that.
hard? Jesus.
Yeah. Just don't say what they're in.
I had to OT my way to get you there, but I got you there. I don't think I used that right. All right, let's pivot into the show. And let's chop it up because we got at least 2 good scenes that we're going to get to. We'll see where we're at on time if we're going to do the other 2.
Yeah. All right. So, like I said in the beginning, this is a movie all about this young gentleman with Down syndrome named Zack. He was placed into a old folks home by the state because his parents didn't want to take care of him, and so he's been trying to escape there. At the first scene of the movie is him just trying to get out of there by using a pudding cup.
Hey,
And
well, pretty
yeah,
creative.
so he escapes, and then he meets this crab fisherman or crab man. I don't know. I guess crab
Hey,
fisherman. Yeah, I
crab
don't
man.
know. Crab man.
That sounds like
Oh, they call him old crab man.
that sounds like a terrifying movie. He's the crab
Well,
man.
it's about to come out.
He got the crab.
And um and his name is Tyler, played by Shia LaBeouf, and um he's going through like this transition in his life where he just has nothing to lose now. He lost his brother and most likely a car accident that he was driving and caused. And so now he's just kind of going through the motions through life. He's stealing crab pots from other people, and now he's getting in trouble with them. And, and now Tyler's trying to go down to Florida to start his own business, while Zach just wants to go down to, I think it was like North Carolina or something like that. North Carolina, to go to this wrestling camp that is hosted by saltwater redneck. And so like that's because he has this VHS tape that he plays like over and over and over and over again of saltwater redneck, and he does this one finisher move where he gets to pick up a guy and then throws him, which is just the conclusion of this film is just fantastic the way they ended it like that. But anyways, yeah, so they meet each other and they're going through this journey, and Tyler's like, all right, I'm not going to baby you or anything like that. We're going to go down to the wrestling spot where you want to go, but we're going to have to do it my way. And so now they start this journey. It's kind of like a modern day like Tom Sawyer in a way, or like Huckleberry Finn, without the racism.
Mine at that. Mine at that.
You
Well,
know,
they
you
could
know.
be in there. I don't know.
They cut that part out a
Yeah, I
little
might
bit.
have.
But yeah, it's like one of those kind of like coming of age stories,
Mhm.
and it's just very heartfelt, amazing film. But the first thing that we're going to talk about is how Zach starts maniacally laughing while he's laying down, and he says that he's the bad guy no matter what, like, because that's all he's been told by coaches, teachers, everybody, that he is the bad guy because he has Down syndrome. And luckily Tyler's there to be very affirming to him, tell him like, fuck those teachers, fuck your coach, like, y'all even win shit? No, then not very good coach, is he? And so I would love to know, Steph, why did you pick this scene in particular?
Well, I picked all the scenes that made me cry, which is probably like the whole movie. But
Yeah.
no, I think like this hits it right on the head with like how, I've watched my brother throughout his life and interact with different people and teachers and coaches and friends and things like that. And, the way that you interact, what you tell people they can and can't do is really affects your, how you feel about yourself, especially as a young person as you're coming up. And like, uh, I've seen some very like disheartening things with my brother, and so that really like hit hard with me as I watched that. I identify with Shia LaBeouf a lot, like that connection you have with for me it's with my brother, and for Shia LaBeouf it's with Zach. But this scene he's telling Zach like, yeah, fuck them, like this is what you are. And then Zach asks Shia LaBeouf back, like, are you a good guy, bad guy? And then
Mm.
he's like, I don't know, and and that really touched me, I think, because for me, my brother's was my teacher, and he, gosh, you can see it for them. and then you can't see it for yourself. So I mean, so many good things in that scene. I think being really mindful of what you're telling people they can and can't do. And Shia LaBeouf was being very blunt. Like, you're not going to be in the NBA, you're not going to be an Olympic swimmer, but look, like, you're strong as hell. And it's just it's the viewpoint, it's how you've, so I mean, so many things.
So you identify as him, right? It makes complete sense. It's interesting that the point that got you choked up though is when he pivots and says, "Are you a good guy or bad guy?" And Shia's like, "Man, I'm fucking no, man. I don't know." And I'm not trying to do anything weird here, but like I try to gas you up about something, and you're like, the two masters, And then earlier I said, right, you're an awesome person, and obviously you turned colors, and you got a little emotional. So you also may not fully believe that you're like the best person. Like, homie, if you don't believe it now, I don't know when you're gonna believe it. You're fucking fantastic.
I think it's hard. I think it's really hard. Like,
I don't know why it's so hard for people.
I don't know either. And I think when you're surrounded by people that believe in you is like, and for me, like what I experienced with our Olympic team and that environment is like, you have so many people believing in you. And I think how you're able to thrive. And then, with my brother and places that he's thrived as people have that view towards them. And, it should come within here, but sometimes you need a little bit of help. And, I remember like, I call my brother a lot. He doesn't live where I live. And so when I'm like, like before a selection or before the Olympic selections, I'd call him and I was like crying, like, I'm so for different things. And he is so affirming in like in the most pure, honest way. And like, Steph, you're great. Like, Steph, you're a great sister. You're, those things that, so
the stuff that means something. That's the real stuff that means something. Good sister.
Yeah. And that connection, that connection is so important. And building those connections like make the biggest difference in people's lives and things like that. So
that's why you got choked up then. Is your brother gasses you up about you as a person. And I gassed you up about who you are as a person, how the kid's gonna love you and like want to live because of you. So it's amazing to hear that, and it's also like wild to hear that. I remember when people used to tell me that, I'm like, bro, that's a lot. I'm not that good of a person. They're like, no, you are. Mm-hmm. A young man came to me the other day. He said his girlfriend said you're amazing. Dude got choked up. I said, I've been telling you that for 2 years, kid. Dude just starts bawling, like full on dry heaving bawling. I'm like, dude, I've been telling you you're fucking awesome for years. It's hard to accept that we're good people. And then, you grow up in the world and with some of your identities as well, right? I mean, one's obvious, being a woman. There's different things that are with that. You being a queer individual as well. There's different things with that. So there's being an athlete, injuries, school, not knowing your place, identity. I mean, it's tough to figure out who you are and your worth. And then I watched that scene, Spence. I'm like, man, Celine don't give a shit. Celine's my brother. Celine don't give a shit about none of that. He's just kind of chilling, vibing, happy as pigs and shit, wants to do this or that. Got the maniacal laugh for no reason.
It does.
Me and Spence will be in the tent. We did a 2-week road trip with my bro, right? Because he always goes on all trips with me. 2-week road trip, and we're in the tent. And he'll just be like, me. And we're like,
what happened?
We'll be like, why are you laughing right now, Slim? And then he'll just do it harder. And we're like, shut the fuck up. It's like 2 a.m.
Remember we were watching like The New Guy or whatever it was, that one movie?
Some random movie.
Yeah. And then as soon as we were like, yeah, let's watch another, he was like, no, I'm going to bed. Click. And then it's just
such a tease.
He's like, I'm done.
He's like, as soon as you guys liked it. It's just funny. Like, there's so many moments too where like he'll talk about things. What's the first rule? And he's like, the party. And after you explicitly said like
no,
bruh, 70, I'll go, Damien and Dad will go over things a million times with Sling. What's the first thing you're supposed to do? I don't know. Oh my God. So I'm gonna put it here. It's okay to hate your sibling. It doesn't matter what their abilities are or disabilities. They still people. But this movie made me remember that life isn't that serious. People will tell you lies. People will tell you certain things. You don't have to listen to everything that people tell you, but it's tough. I think what's really cool is people do change their lives. Our clients change our lives. The little kids you're getting ready to work with is going to change your lives. Your teammates have changed your life. You just always, everyone changes your life. It's a new experience. Sometimes life happens for you, not to you.
Mm-hmm.
Steph has had a weird life. It's always like these little things that have maneuvered you. It's kind of cool. You weren't just like, I'm going to be this. That wasn't you. It's just like, you know, hey man, there's this thing that a group of girls is playing. You want to try it? And like, oh sure, you know, I'll try it.
And got the bling to go with it.
Yeah. You know, hey man, you ever thought about this OT thing while you're babysitting?
That is how it
Yeah.
Girl, have you made any choices for yourself? No, it's just like, maybe you should try this.
Yeah. Like, okay, why not? Yeah.
Have you ever been offered drugs and did you say yes or no? Don't answer that.
Oh my God.
Don't answer that. But I'm here to offer you them right now.
I guess I will. No.
She's like, I guess I'll try it.
You know, hey, I don't mind tripping.
This is so good. She does not condone any of that.
No, she does not control any drugs at all.
No, she is
drug
clean.
free.
Clean.
Drug free.
Dare.
Yeah. She's clean.
Dare.
Jesus.
Just in case she plays again and gets tested.
Yeah, I might come back.
She might come back. I know she's taking PEDs because her finger actually looked like it was straightening while she was talking to us.
I just like saw the muscle in there.
I saw
like,
it.
God damn.
Is this supposed to have that?
God damn. Why are there so many veins in your finger?
Yeah. That's that special treatment, boy. That's that Olympic medical doctors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Them Olympic medical doctors. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, moving on. I want to stick on this scene.
Yeah,
I also
stick with
want to talk about, he talked about his coaches being a negative influence on him, right? And, you know, a lot of the times when we talk about coaches, we think of them as being positive influences on our lives, but there are those negative ones as well. Could you speak a little bit about your experiences with coaches and how that has really drove you into not only being a coach for others, but then now going into your occupational therapist bag? Has that helped you a lot too?
Yeah, coaches are so important. And you know what was funny with this scene is like, you know, did your coaches win anything? And he's like, no. But you know, with this, I know Sammy talked about it, like we have such a good group of girls and we have such a great coach. And what this coach with this particular Olympic team had like really focused on was our culture and our, like, essentially our connection with each other. And the amount of like time and energy we spent working on connection seemed like we should be on the field more, you know, like but like that leading with more empathy, leading with less this like dictatorship, I'm going to tell you what to do and this and this and this, but very open, very you know, focuses on culture and who you are and how you interact with people and your heart. And we have 5 values. Our team has 5 values that we like live by. And so it's like resilience, courage, work ethic, selflessness. And then the last one is love, which, you know, we all came up with these values, but that was something like every single day in some facet, we were playing like that, we were interacting like that. It all like tied into those. And so the love piece is really interesting because especially with like an aggressive sport or just with sports in general, this like moving away from this like harsh, no feeling, like tuck your feelings away, like just go play. I think it was moving away from that, and it was very challenging. I mean, dealing with emotions and people and connection is so challenging. And so we had a leader that was really valued that as well. And so, I mean, we won, and which is great, and ending to that story. But that connection piece and that love piece and that addressing emotion piece in sport is so important.
I wonder, as you as a coach, so you coached before, right? You're not coaching now, but you coached before. Did you incorporate that connection, that community, that bond? Or were you kind of a little bit still oblivious to that and going by like some old textbooks from previous? Or I don't know, maybe you were all like, you know what, guys, I want you to love each other right now in the cut. When you set that pick with love.
Yeah. In a hug.
Why'd you?
I set pigs with my arms. I don't,
Yeah.
I get cold.
It's hard, right? Like there is this like harshness to sports. Like you're competing, there's like this anger undertone, and it's so counterintuitive. But no, I coached under I was low on the totem pole, but I coached under some coaches, and so I was more so very early, like
okay.
we supposed to do. And it's like I didn't connect the two parts. So I was this very
Not yet.
empathetic, emotional, connected person, and then I had my sports. And so I think that Olympic team was the first one that really truly like integrated them so hard. And other coaches had I don't want to say all my coaches weren't like that. I had a lot of really good coaches, but like I think that's when it really clicked with me. So after my basketball career was over, but it was cool because I did get to bring my how my connection with my brother had shaped me and how I view the world into how I play and and express myself. And I think I think Sammy is a good example of like we did really just like accept and love each other. And it was a really, really unique experience, even after all the sports that I've played, and so I think that's why it was so powerful.
Isn't that wild though?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that group of humans and a coach, just a perfect concoction. Or is it just what? Pause. I'm having a brain seizure. What led that coach to have that philosophy mentality? Because if they lead like this, they learned it from someone else, or they got the heart, the gushiness, the wisdom, they've been to therapy. I don't know, right? But coach got this from somewhere. So that's why I'm like, damn, where did they get it from? And then they implement it with all these grown ass women. You ain't little kids no more. It's like, how do you get grown people to love each other? Everyone hates everyone nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, we got to have her on because I don't know either. That's so like I don't know how she came.
You might have to. You're gonna have to call her and be like, "Hey, not for us."
But it's a podcast with two assholes. Can you please come on?
No,
yeah, but
ask her for your practice. Yeah, well, all the best minds, right? When you see someone, you're like, let me go learn. When you read about Martin Luther King, he went and read all these other philosophers and people, right? You're always reading about other people. Where do they get these ideas from? That would be good for you to coach. How'd you learn to be a good person? Like, is that shit just innate? Or you was like, I love you. Or did you like read a book? Or was it lived experience? Maybe they got family disabilities and they got a big heart. I don't know.
You know what really struck me about her is like she was the first female head coach in rugby and men or women at the time. Like,
so she's been through some shit.
Yeah. She, like she very intelligent, went to Brown, and she kind of approached it as like this as a business, and had this is very well with this empathy, and she like really felt strongly that like leading this like with empathy and using as a female like her connection, and she's a very a very empathetic person, a very connected person, and so that's just the way that she was. And I think she was really brave, and like I'm surrounded with all these men and who are leading like how are they lead, but I'm not going to see that as a negative thing. And me and her talk about how there's this like old school female head coach of basketball that's like this very stereotypical, like you get a lot of them. They're very intense, like
Yeah.
Like
Kimmel, if you know from LSU.
LSU. I was just getting ready to say her.
Yeah.
Intense.
I was thinking
Well,
her too.
Just an extreme, but there's this like that generation of women had to really like be tough to like hang with
Masculine.
guys. They broke so many barriers with
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
But now like that, it's a little bit of a different time. There is this like, and they have like the empathy and the connection. Like I can't do that because we're like competing with these, like getting into a male dominated field. And
Yep.
so it's like she was like, you know, we need to have this. What like makes me strong as a woman is my ability to be empathetic and to value connection. And so she was brave and like, you know, I'm just going to do it this way. And I think it was really hard for her. I think she had a lot of things that she had to overcome. And, you know, she's just surrounded by these male head coaches from all these different countries. And so she was really brave in doing that. And after, it's cool because after we won the bronze medal at the Olympics, I think there were like 6 or 7 head female coaches after her. So
That's
all
amazing.
like, we'll hire her. So we all love her. So she's a good one.
Hell yeah. Coach's name? Sorry for the other folks that don't know.
Emily Bidwell. Yeah, Coach Emily Bidwell.
Emily Bidwell. Shout out to Coach. Being
Shout out.
magnificent, being strong, being empathetic, being loving, not letting the world tell you who you need to be or how you need to be based on gender stereotypes, based on masculinity in general, and saving some lives on that rugby team. And also these stories that you and Sammy have shared allows other people that listen to us to think about this. You're going to affect other people. Sammy's going to affect other people, right? As soon as we get shown that there's another way, it's like, holy fuck. You can do this and be fantastic still at your job, sport, life. I think we forget that love is the way, man. And I'm not talking about like romance or sexuality. I'm talking about just in general, man. Compassion, love, kindness. Everyone is looking to be loved and to love others. And we forget that because the world makes us think about just money and survivability. It's messed up. Thank God for your coach. I ain't even saying that in a religious way. I'm just saying that just in a way that awesome. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, Stephanie lucky as shit, man. I'm done talking to your ass, man.
That is, dude.
Man, you know, man, it ain't right. I don't get shit. I'm joking. Coach is like, you're fat. I'm like, oh, okay.
I thought you wanted that. I'm like, what the
yeah.
You too fat. Like, no.
Yeah. Stephanie's coach like, we love you, girl. My coach like, nah, you stupid.
You dumb as hell. Anyway.
Anyway, keep it going. Thank you, Steph.
All right. Let's move on to the next scene.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one, so throughout the whole time, Zack and Tyler are doing their things. Also, Eleanor, who works at the home, is now trying to find Zack and bring him back to the old folks home. And it's actually messed up because they were actually going to send him to a like a rehab or rehabilitation center.
Yeah.
With like a lot of grimy things happening where it's like someone like Zack should not be at that place because it's just gross. But during their time, so they're still going to the wrestling event. They have a raft now, and while they're in a raft, all of a sudden, Zack or Eleanor is really trying to talk to him and be a lot more. Is trying to baby him a little bit, or is trying to do affirming care. It's like that term that we just kind of talked about, is that affirming care. And so while they're doing that, Tyler's like, hey, why don't you hold your breath down there for a little bit? And then as the quote unquote parents talk, Tyler says like, you need to stop treating or babying him and trying to act like his disability is like his whole personality when it isn't. And then while Eleanor also brings up a great point of just like, I'm taking care of a lot of people who are dying, and I have to be there in that moment. And so I'm trying to not only care for these people in this old folks home, but now I'm also caring for Zack as well, and just trying to make sure that he feels love in this environment that's pretty sad and disparaging, to be honest with you. So, once again, actually, I want to pivot into just uh, what side are you kind of like in the middle between Tyler and Eleanor, or are you more on the side of Tyler, of where it's like give him independence and don't try to act like he's different, or are you more on like the Eleanor side where it's just like even though it may seem like babying, it is protection, it's protecting him, and it's also making sure that he knows that he's feeling loved in this sad environment.
Well, I think I am so on Zach's side where like,
Mm. Yeah.
but I think sometimes I go to Eleanor's side. Like I want to protect my brother so badly. Like I like feel like a just little helicopter and I just want to protect him from all the bad things and I want to just squeeze him and um so sometimes I have to pull myself out of that and I think it's really hard to do. And but the way that Zach's treating or that Shia LaBeouf is treating Zach
Mhm.
is you see how Zach is reacting to that. And he has so much confidence and he is able to achieve things. And, going back to when you said what makes a good coach is like someone who pushes you to like your potential and what they think that you can do. And if you don't push them, then it's almost like you don't think that they can do that. And like people sense that and it is um it's really, really hard. And I think there was for people with disabilities, like there was these movements where they were institutionalized and very second class citizens. And then there was this like, let's take care of all these people with disabilities and let's love them. And then like, and it became very like uh uh being overprotective and not seeing the potential they can have. And I think this is the second movement from Eleanor to now Shia LaBeouf, where like we see that there's so much potential in these people and in all people and so I do go towards Eleanor sometimes like I want to protect him, I want to do things for him. I think I'm going to share the story. My me and my brother, like I can get my brother to I can push him to do a lot of things. He responds really well to me because I don't baby him, I'm not his mom. Like
Yeah.
he's my bro and like
Yeah.
I treat him like a 26-year-old that he is.
Yeah.
And my mom, is like she's an incredible advocate, but even sometimes she's like she's that's her baby.
Yeah.
And so my mom sometimes has to call me and say, "Steph, can you just get him to help him wear these shoes? Thank you." And I say, "Jack, but it is really hard." And so what I've really noticed is like the parent um then relationship with someone with a disability is, you're always going to be their parent. And the importance of having like a sibling or a friend that, doesn't treat them as that kind of relationship is, I've seen so many incredible things happen from that and some incredible like growth as people. And Jack, my brother, has some really, really amazing people in his life, some friends that take him out to the karaoke bar and they go, take him to do bro things that, that even I was, I'm like, no, come, you be safe. Um, but I think as we like, if when you have people with disabilities in your life and as you're approaching them, we do, and it comes from a place of love. And I think that's what Eleanor was saying. Like,
Yeah.
I love them so much. Like, I love Zach so much. And so it's hard because it comes from such a good place.
Yeah.
And I think that switch from like recognizing like that could be something that's holding them back. And if I think about my own life, if I had a coach that babied me, like I would hate it. Like,
Yeah.
nobody likes that.
Yeah.
And so I try to be more of a Shia LaBeouf.
Of course.
Sometimes just like squeeze them. No.
Did you ever have a point where you were just like you saw that, and you're just you saw yourself as Eleanor a little bit too much, and then you're just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I need to change that. Or has it always been you're more on like Shia's character of just like you're my brother. That's it. Like, I'm not gonna treat you any different.
No, I think I have to keep pulling myself out of that
Mm.
protective. I think that's where I naturally go just because I don't want anything bad to happen to him. And I like see all the potential things that could, and you know, sometimes, you know, my partner, a lot of times, like Steph, like has to pull me out of it. Like he's 26, he's a grown man.
Yeah.
And I think the time in Jack's life that he was transitioning into adulthood, he's over 21, and being with his peers that were being little hoodlums, like, you know, doing all the,
That's what we do.
you know, their college. And it was like I didn't want him to be with his peers doing that stuff. Like I didn't think it's constant reflection of like, if he didn't have if he didn't have Down syndrome, would you be like trying to make him not do XYZ? And I constantly have to check myself. And but it's I mean, you do it all the time. I think it's just naturally coming from that love place.
Protection, boy. Protection. Yep. So this scene, right? You're looking at this dynamic, and he's like, "Hey, man, I didn't know where this was going. I thought he was just gonna show him like, look how long he can hold his breath." I'm like, "Oh, look at my autistic ass. I didn't realize they were getting ready to have the talk." I'm like, "Oh shit, he can hold his breath."
Like,
I'm like, "All right,
plug your ears." Like,
yeah." I'm like, "What's going on here?" So I didn't see that coming. He said, "How long did I hold my breath?" "A long time, man." I'm like, "You ain't timing, motherfucker."
Not long enough. Get
I
back
would have
down
been
there.
so
Like, wait
mad.
a
Like,
minute.
what do you mean you ain't timing?
Yeah.
You some bitch.
It's hard.
It's terrible. I'm
5
dying.
seconds, 2 seconds. What?
But I'm gonna go ahead and just use the vernacular, right? Because it said in the movie, but it also is pungent, so it'll make a point. He's like, "You need to stop treating him like this, like a baby. Like you treat him like he's retarded." And she's like, "I would never do or say." But he's like, think about the ways you engage with him. Think about the certain things that you're doing to send messages that he can't put on his shirt by himself, which makes him feel like he's cognitive behind or makes him dependent on you. And maybe it's saying more about you being dependent on the kid. But the kid can put on a shirt. The kid can fix his own food. Is it going to be the best food? I don't know. Is the shirt going to be fucking random as hell and like have a whole? I don't fucking know. But let the kid put on the shirt. He can do these things. And so I think about that when I'm seeing people is you don't have to say that someone is this horrific slur. But the way that you treat them could. So for you, it's out of protection. It's obviously not of anything derogatory. For other folks, so you are sending messages. And so it's not black and white like Spencer asked, and it's not black and white, obviously, because you live in gray. You're just trying to figure it out on the fly, navigate the waters, and make your best choices possible. As people know who listen to this pod, I literally abducted my brother in 2014. I'm like, "You're coming to live with me." And I decided to be his legal guardian, and I sued my mother for guardianship. So that was the thing that I did, is what it is. A lot of people thought I was a piece of shit, but I believed that I was be a better caretaker of him and for him, and I was. And people were like, "Oh, you need to let that guardianship go." I'm like, "Why? What do you want?" "Well, you don't let him come around people in the family." I'm like, "Yeah. What do you want? You don't have good intentions. You left him to rot and die in a certain place where he's taken advantage of in many different ways. So yeah, forgive me if I don't allow you to be around him anymore." He's got friends, family, work, losing weight. Y'all had him in a diabetic coma, and you left him for dead in a random ass city in the hood. So fuck you. I have specific ways of how I go about things, right? I'm not the kindest person. To people I love, I'll die for you. So it's about navigating things. My brother hangs out with folks. I don't care, man. Do your thing. Who is it? Real quick. But then, like, do your thing. Sometimes I'm like, what you doing, man? What are you buying on your credit card, motherfucker? There's a bunch of random charges on here. But what is this? So then I got to go look at the credit card. So I'm not super helicoptery, but it happens, Steph. It happens. Me and him are going to be living together until one of us passes. So it just is what it is. And I'm completely fine, and I'm set up for that. And any partner I've ever had, I'm just letting you know, he coming with us. So he coming with us. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to kick it back to you. Sometimes I use my brother to see if people are good people. If you treat my brother awesome when we meet one-on-one and you treat him with respect, do you talk to him as a normal person? Do you talk down to him? Do you start talking louder? Like,
Hello.
do you treat him weird? Do you not even look at him and just ignore him because he's disabled? Like, I can figure out who you are as a person based on the way you treat him within a few minutes. And Spencer knows this. Only people I have around him are people that I trust to treat him good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's four girls and my brother in the family, but it's always like a test if you're ever dating somebody. Like when you introduce them to Jack, all right, did they pass the Jack test? Like how did they interact? And you do it very early on, because if it doesn't work, like if
Yeah.
they don't interact with Jack well, like it's not going to work. And it's not just the sake of interacting with Jack, but it's like it does show who you like. You can earn massive points if you come in and you are good with it will be over. But yeah, I mean, yeah, totally.
I'm not
And
crazy. People thought I was a
No.
psychopath for doing this. I'm like, no.
oh no,
If we're gonna,
all
you're
my
gonna,
sisters, yeah.
yeah.
Even like, yeah, it's always, we never talk about it. It's like, oh, did you, so how, like, it's just like an unspoken test that you
Just
just,
like,
yeah.
good job. Like,
Yeah.
got one.
Yeah.
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 No, totally. Yeah.
Does Jack know that he's involved in this test or no? Does he know he's the barometer? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
This is
He's
not
like, I thought they were
consensual.
cool. I thought
Yeah.
they were cool. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Sling doesn't know either. I remember going on one date and I was like, man, fuck it. We're going to the movies. I'll take my brother with me. I don't care. This is a different date and movie date. Sling just hanging out and he's like, she's really awesome. I like her. I'm like, you got a crush on my girlfriend, dog? Back off. Like, he's like, you sure you guys are dating? I was like, fuck you, man.
Well, I gotta always be bringing people on his dates.
I know.
Damn.
Well, I know. I'm sorry. It's
Yeah. I
whatever.
remember that.
Let's not get into that.
I was third wheeling on it.
It's fine. I'm a little autistic, so I don't know. I don't really
Hey,
understand.
I had a great
dates.
burrito. I was fine.
It was a great date. That sounds like a great
It
date.
was good food.
I
It was
know.
like good music.
It was
good
just
food.
her
That
fault.
was
She
cool.
ruined it.
I know. Of all the people, she was the one that ruined the moment.
Oh
Anyways.
my God. Let's move on from that. A very embarrassing time. What's funny is that you said your brothers were getting involved with hoodlums. And so, not to shade the hoodlums, but when you were like, those are good people too.
Okay.
I was a dirtbag for a while.
Oh my God.
No, what's my one student say? I'm a degenerate. I was like, do you use meth? He's like, I don't think you're a degenerate then. You don't use meth. No knocking any people. I'm not knocking meth. I'm not knocking meth. You know?
Why?
I don't know, man. People get canceled for everything these days.
No, go against the hard stuff. Huh?
I know. But the reason why I say this is because as soon as you're like, man, I'm protective of my brother, and I was like, he's 26. Oh yeah, I was getting into some shit at 26. I'm gonna be real. I don't know about you, Steph. What were you doing at 26? Were you doing weird stuff, or like, can we not say that on public radio? I don't know.
Public radio.
This is on public
FCC.
radio? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the FCC will find us.
I know. I'm like,
apparently.
so I think the reason why I bring this up is because I think our also lived experiences could like manifest.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, man, I wonder. I know what my friends were doing. We were blowing shit up. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
probably don't want my brother around that.
Yeah. My mom was just like, you're not doing any of the things I did. I was like, okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks, Mom.
I know. Well, like, yeah, your mind goes to like, the worst things. But yeah,
Sure.
what I say is like, I have to remember like back to what I was doing when I was in my 20s, and I'm okay. Like
It depends.
allowing, like, we don't want people with disabilities to fail. It's crazy. Like
That's a good point.
everybody can fail and everyone can learn. Like, my brother's now on this kick of ordering DoorDash so much, and we're like, oh, it's hard. It's a really difficult topic. But I'm like, I could go through a phase where I ordered DoorDash. I've spent too much money on DoorDash, but so like, but I went through this process of like, going through different challenges, and it's like we want them to just like know without doing, and that's a really hard expectation to put on somebody.
It's true.
It's not really living. It's not
Yeah.
really living.
You
It's
live
just,
through experiences. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and so there's been a lot of people in his life that have, and he's surrounded by sisters, right? So he
Yeah.
seeks a male friendship. Poor boy, is surrounded by so many girls, but he, there's been a lot of people that come into his life that they really connect. And as a sister's perspective, I know how, like you see in the movie with Zack and Shia LaBeouf, like that connection is really, really sacred when they have it with you. And
Mhm.
like as a sister, I'm almost like having to trust this person with,
Your heart.
he will get heartbroken with his heart, he will listen to you. He's really like, values what you say and your opinion. And I think that's I think that out of all the things, that's the hardest thing with, giving that over to his friends and his people in his life. I think I've seen different people with heartbreak and maybe it's not steering him wrong, or, like being a superficial friend when Jack was trying to be really deep friend. And that's challenging for me.
It's part of life, though. Like you just said, heartbreak is part of life. Shit, I've been in them
I have
things.
friends who I had a deep connection, and then they broke my heart.
I
It's like we
know.
don't want them to fail, and we don't want them to experience hard things in life. And they're really strong. People are
Yeah.
really strong.
Motherfucker stole my TV.
You're in a deep coma. What the fuck?
Yeah, man.
Have you ever tried to like take your own TV and put it somewhere? It's a very loud and
It was a big one, too.
it's a loud experience.
A big one. It's one of them 90s TV. Motherfucker, he fell, sued
two
me.
people.
Yeah, he sued my. I'm joking. Oh, man. I love the combo. You're right, though.
Yeah.
But I guess it's another instance on how she babies him. And that's what we're talking about, is allow people to fail, allow them to feel pain. He is pushing the boy to do a lot of stuff. All types of different exercises, jumping jacks, breath training. He's pushing him to swim. Never would swim before, right? But how are you going to know until you do it? And if it's under decent supervision, let's give it a shot. They thought my brother shouldn't go into college classes. And I'm like, fuck it, let's give it a shot. This is meant for folks with disabilities. Give it a shot. This or that. Let's give it a shot. Slim, you want to do it? I don't know. Well, you let me know if it sucks, right? I don't know. Fuck.
He would say something like that.
He would. I know.
I
Yeah.
know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because he's cool with anything. And then, you'll know when he doesn't like it. He's like, I'm not doing
True.
it. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing how people shape our lives. Amazing. Let me see if I had anything specific I wanted to touch on that scene. Oh, I'll leave on this and then we can move on and just we can touch on the other scenes very quickly and then get out. Just affirming care. So a lot of what we're also talking about today is affirming care. And so meeting people where they're at instead of putting limitations on them, instead of calling people the villains or the bad guys and saying that you can never do this or be a pro basketball player. Meet realistic expectations, but also dream. A client of mine said the other day is like, are my dreams stupid? I'm like, what? Maybe I should just stop dreaming. I said, whoever the fuck, I didn't suggest that. I think you should dream wildly, magnificent, big, huge. But then I'm not going to achieve those dreams. So why would I do that? That's depressing. Yeah, but this pushes you to reach for it. And if you land anywhere even close to it, how fucking awesome is that? So we push mostly everyone to go chase their dreams, but a lot of folks that are disabled, autistic, neurodivergent, maybe you should try. Have you ever thought about, doing this? Like, no, I want to do this. Like, I want to go to college. Have you thought about, just community college? Like, fuck you, man. I want to be an engineer. Have you thought about just learning your letters first? Like, fuck you, man. I got dyslexia. The reason why I say this is because, right, I was in special ed for a long time. I was in also behavior modification classes too because of my autism and other shit. And doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good when people are telling you this is your reading level, this is where you're at, this is where you're going to be at. And then you test out all of it. And you're like, no, you're still going to stay on all these classes because your behavior issues. So it makes me feel like I'm stupid. It makes me feel like I was less than in some of those other things that they would call him. And then my father gets out of prison and we're like, yeah, we're going to take you out of all those classes. We're going to transfer you to a school where they never heard of you and we'll just see what happens. I'm like, okay. That was fucking terrifying. And then you do well. And you're like, holy shit. It turns out that I can read and spell. I was just highly fucking depressed and autistic as shit and bored in class. Reason why I bring this up is because a lot of people are misdiagnosed. A lot of people aren't affirmed or loved in certain ways or pushed by coaches, parents, family members. I pray that all of you, obviously not in a super religious way, I hope that all of you have someone to have your back and support you and push you to dream. Dream huge. And if someone tells you not to, then they're a fucking idiot. Don't listen to them. There's someone that's miserable and depressed as shit. Dream big. And if you, dream big. And if you fail, fuck it, dude, fail miserably, fail horrifically while you're chasing your dreams. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Let's go.
All right.
The last few scenes. Yeah, you want to chop into it, or you want to wrap up real quick?
I think we can maybe just give like our just thoughts on like the third scene, and then we can wrap up. Yeah.
Did you like this? Did you like the swimming one?
Me? Yeah. I can't tell you.
No, the third one was the birthday one.
Oh, the birthday one. We're going with birthday that one.
Wishes.
Okay.
Yeah. And okay, so they're on their trip. They're doing their thing, and then all of a sudden they meet this like blind. I don't even know if he's a pastor. I think he just is religious.
A deeply Christian black man.
Yeah, dude, they're in the South. And just like, I'm about to baptize you. And then Shia's like, I only get baptized in fire. And he was like, I don't have those type of baptisms, but okay. And so they make this raft and everything. And now they're on their way down the creek. And then they just have this moment of where Zack and Tyler just hug each other. And Zack is just like, I'll give you all my birthday wishes. And I think that was just for that was just this way of like just thanking him for bringing him on this trip and just being on this journey, if I remember correctly. And then with that, then we see a flashback to when Tyler, Shia LaBeouf's character, and his brother John Berthau, and how they were just sharing that moment, like the older and younger brother connection that was just happening there. John Berthau, always tragic everything. Like, dude, it's just he found himself in the role of being like the big brother that just dies. Like, there's no other way to say, like, that's just his character now. Yep. I haven't seen him in anything else where I was like, okay, yeah,
it's all sad.
Happy.
No, he's never happy. He's usually either dead or murdering people. So
either or, never in between.
No.
And he has such a fantastic podcast too. Yeah. He has a great podcast, and where he like talks to people and really gets to know them inside and out. So check that out if you ever seen it. But yeah, just want to kind of touch on just like this thing of like just these guys hugging, right? Just, you know, just sharing that just lovely moment, kind of putting everything aside and just hugging, crying, laughing.
You ever have this moment with your brother, Steph, like where you two are just sitting there and he just like arm over you, or like, no, he wouldn't do that? Or are you the one to reach over? Or like, I don't know. Is this a vibe with y'all?
All the time. I always have my arm around him. I'm like chill. We're in public, like chill.
I know, girl.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't do it as much. I'm just like,
you're the needy one. He's doing fine.
Yeah, I am. And Jack, you know, sometimes he's like, Steph, I think I'm gonna be a therapist. I think because like I'm like Jack, you know, in confiding in his love.
Girls using him for free therapy. Yeah. You're like, my secrets die with you.
Gosh. But yeah, like just the, you know, authenticness of it. Like it's honest and it's loving. I think like being honest and being loving, it's so powerful. You know?
Thanks. Yeah. And I tell you, some folks are better than with others. I never met a Down syndrome person that's not real. Right? There's not a lot of masking that goes on with the folks that I've been connected to throughout my brother. But whenever people show you realness or authenticity, you're like, holy, this is fantastic. Realness is awesome. That hug. Bro, you a hugger, Stephanie? I feel like you're a hugger. Based on the gushy stuff you said, because you soft. Talking about love and shit, you know. My coach loved me. Well, that's why y'all got third, you know.
Oh my God.
She would have kicked your ass. You would have got first, you know. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Well, it was nice having the last rugby player on. It was great. Thank you.
For real though, are you a hugger or no?
I'm sometimes I think that I am very I'm a feeler. I'm very I take on other people's feelings a lot. And so I think being with people that I'm very comfortable with and a lot of times I do shut off to I don't give a lot of hugs. I don't like hugging unless there's like a true connection and it's a safe place. And so yes, I know.
There you go. Same.
Yeah.
Girl, you more autistic than you know. I ain't hugging none of you, except for the ones I love, which is a lot of you.
I love all of you.
Oh, it's
So
really
come here.
hard.
I know it's really hard.
Come here.
Spence, obviously, me and Spence. Well, Spence, man, real lovey-dovey with his girl. I'm like, damn, look at that. That's a good man right there. All the hugs and laying on each other and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Cuddling.
Yeah. I don't really hug people unless, I like you.
Yep. And
Yep.
so Spence would be like, bring it in, chubby. And I'm like, I don't want to hug you.
I just do it because you're so weird about it.
I'm getting better at it, though. I'm actually pretty good at it now, man.
Are you?
No.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
Yeah.
I like hugging tall people.
You like hugging
I've
tall
noticed-
people?
Yeah, because you can you don't have to do are we going diagonal? Am I going up? You just know you're going down and it's just
Yeah. Just cradling your
They
head.
just
Just, shh.
Who doesn't like that?
Oh, yeah, that's the only thing I have because we're both 6'3", or we're up there 6 foot, and yeah, so it's just
Yeah.
Well, it's a good experience for the other person.
It's a good experience for both. This is why I want to tell you this. So I brought up the hugging thing because it is what it is. And I realize that some people need it more than others. So I've had clients that wanted one, this or that. Or sometimes I'm like, hey, man, it's the last session. I've known you for years. Give them a hug, this and that. But really sad note, and then we'll pivot into something better. But I had a client recently that took their own life, first time in my 10-year career. And so I went to the vigil, and that was extremely fucked up. But my father told me I should go. So I went and I spoke, said some words and to the family because they needed to hear some good stuff. And I see all his friends there. It was magnificent. And a bunch of them came up to me afterwards and gave me a hug. And some of my students were there. And bro, I ain't never been happier about being a big boy to take up a lot of space because people are falling, they're on me. I've never dealt with that my entire life where I'm holding up grown men from sobbing. That was intense, Spence. To have people, my own people, my clients that share my same identity just fall apart on top of me. And I'm like, thank God I got you. I can deadlift you. I'm good.
Yeah.
This is one of the proudest moments of my life, being able to be there to take that pain. It's pretty dope. So hugging, very powerful thing that I don't think I've ever really extremely realized until that moment, which is pretty cool. So these moments of masculinity sometimes get in the way, and those playful moments like that when they start touching his face is why I also like the scene. Is sometimes with your brother or sibling, right, sister, right, you do all the stupid shit and you annoy each other and piss each other off, and it's just like a moment of realness. I also thought about my clients that are autistic, and they mirror a lot of the things that I do. And one of my clients, Spence, watches the podcast now. Embarrassing.
That's
and
good.
Awesome, neurodivergent little girly, right? Love her, love her to death.
Yeah.
But just not at all our type of people, Spence. Blonde hair, blue eyes, sorority type girly, right? And she's like, Nas, I literally start impersonating your voice because I listen to the podcast so much. I said, what voice? The dumb one. When you're like, oh, no. And she's like, I'm like, girl, you cannot do this in public. Your parents will sue me.
To choose.
And so I love that because it reminds me of my clients and also siblings. Also for you and younger kids. They're going to be mirroring all the stuff that you do, right? If you go on there a little pissed off, they're going to be pissed. Bop a kid on the head. They can start bopping kids on the head.
Oh my God.
Hey, you're not walking right. I'm joking. You would never do that.
Yeah, Steph will not be hitting any of the children that she sees.
I will not be hitting the children.
There you go.
While the camera's on, I guess. But the reason why I bring this up is because everyone's always watching. And for you as an OT, Little kids gonna be watching. So now they got you, this badass woman that's super kind of nice with 3 degrees, bro, Olympic athlete, Jesus, and the kids are just gonna be like eating you up, bruh. It's gonna be awesome. My professor told me that I had extreme privilege of being big and brown and a man, and that I would help people heal just because of my identities. I'll show what good men need to be like, and I'll show women on what a good man looks like. I was like, holy fuck, that's too much pressure. She's like, well, you better get fucking used to it or quit. I'm like, are you supposed to say this to me? She's like, I'm only saying it to you because I know you can handle it. As I sit there and just cry. What we do matters. People are watching. And you as a like famous fucking athlete now, right? Hanging out with LeBron and shit, you know, name dropper.
Going to all these fancy ass events.
I know there's fancy events, you know, right? I know you're out there, you know. You see how there's a double entendre. You out there? Yeah.
Yeah, we got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, she didn't get it until just now. Yeah.
I did.
Nah, whatever.
It went past her on the autism scale there. People are watching, man. So I'm done. Magnificent pod. I knew we'd have a shit ton of fun. It was awesome to see Steph kind of relaxed off the anxiety or like I don't trust these guys. And then she's like, oh, yeah.
Why are they trying to get me to say?
We're going to have some fun. Yep.
No, Steph, you're great. All right. Just so you know, great guest. You did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Letting you know now. Even if you don't believe it, I'm telling you, you did great. All right. You did great. Would love to have you back on one day. Do a different movie, anything you want. Just let us know. Yeah. Any plugs or anything like that for yourself?
Or people?
People? Yeah, people.
No, I don't have any plugs.
Oh my God.
No.
That's all we do in society is
I'm
plugs.
already famous, motherfucker. Like what? I can't get any bigger.
I'm like so not famous because like out of all the followers, I think I'm the last on our team. You know, like I
Okay.
don't have it's anyway.
I don't know.
But
Anything you remember from
follow
your
me
mom?
at Rovetti.
Oh, damn. Say it again because the audio cut out. Say it again.
Follow me at Steph_Rovetti.
There you go. Look at that. Look at that. See,
Well,
you got a plug.
you got to
Insta.
plug yourself.
Yeah.
We will also promote some of the things that you talked about, that your mom talked about, the movie, and then we'll do some more research to find some other really good resources and attach it to the podcast site, the website, and everywhere else where we tag things. Just as a heads up.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Steph,
Do you
once
guys
again.
need like I have some photos of me and my brother at the Olympics.
Yeah,
cool?
we'll take them. Yeah, why not? Yeah, we'll
I mean,
promote it. Yeah.
you autographing them? Wait a minute now, Spence. We got to negotiate this. We get some
How
autographs,
much?
motherfucker. You know,
Do
How much
$5.
Oh,
$5. Okay, $5.
How much for postage stamps?
How much just for one of the kids that you work with? Can we get just an autograph from them?
God.
Is that free?
And that's where
That's not
we
perverted.
ended on. That's where we ended on. Steph, thank you so much for coming on to the show. We really appreciate it. Please come back. Please. With that, I'm Spencer.
Yeah.
That's Nas. A Different Spectrum Podcast.
Stephanie, did you want to say something real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. She was
She's
saying
like, I'm
thank
done.
you. All right, everyone. Much love, and take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
That's completely up to you. Peace.
Bye.